Ever since the Doklam clash and last year's standoff in the Galwan Valley, India has put its foot on the gas and started to rile up the Chinese. Since the 1950s, China has been occupying the Indian territory of Aksai Chin, whose ancient name is Gosthana. Today, there is a line of actual control between the Indian and Chinese forces beyond which Aksai Chin lies, and India is in the mood for reclamation. Unlike previous regimes, the Modi government is pushing back at China's salami slicing tactics, which has led to a standoff for more than a year and a half and counting. Now, it's time to get back Aksai Chin, and India has sent a strong message that has left China shocked. India has flown its jets over Aksai Chin or Gosthana, and has scared China's mute protest is a treat to watch. Hi and welcome. This is TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Piyush, and in this video I will tell you how the aerial sorties by India near the LAC has China cowering with fear. Let's begin. A frustrated China is scurrying around looking to get India off its back. Reportedly, the communist country and its government recently alleged that Indian aircrafts ventured deep into Aksai Chin and performed aerial sorties. Meanwhile, the Indian government claimed that the said region fell in the Indian territory. According to the Free Press Journal, the government of India at its diplomatic best denied the allegation of violation of China's airspace. In a note dated October 23rd, New Delhi remarked that after carefully examining the allegation, it had been established that they were baseless. New Delhi also took a jibe at the Chinese by stating that it had become a standard practice for the Chinese government to make fictitious and absurd allegations about Indian aircraft violating Chinese airspace. Moreover, reflecting upon the Chinese complaint that Indian aircraft flew over Sirijap, the government of India affirmed in unmistakable terms that Sirijap lay in Indian territory. Lately, China has been facing the heat on the border areas. With the Modi government developing infrastructure aggressively near the border areas, China has not been able to come to terms with the reality of the situation. This is not the first time that China has been rattled by India. As reported by TFI, flustered at the prospect of Indian armed forces deploying BrahMos supersonic missile in advanced outposts targeting parts of China-controlled Tibet and other regions, CCP mouthpiece Global Times had furnished a feature-length article. The tabloid magazine, in an article titled "India's Plan to Deploy BrahMos Missile Escalates Border Tensions but of No Actual Threat," observers tried to posture that India deploying the BrahMos missile was a no biggie. However, the tone and tenor of the article suggests otherwise. Chinese observers slammed the Indian government's plan to deploy the BrahMos missile, its most advanced missile, at the India-China border, warning it could add new barriers in the talks to peacefully address the border tension and further deteriorate ties. Moreover, as reported by TFI, the Indian government earlier this year moved 50,000 troops to the Indo-Tibet borders. India now has roughly 200,000 troops focused on the border, which is an increase of more than 40% from last year. The number of troops has also been increased along the southern Tibetan plateau, with soldiers equipped with machine guns having joined the routine of armed military personnel already stationed there. Moreover, after Prime Minister Narendra Modi wished His Holiness Dalai Lama by tweeting a birthday message, the Chinese were up in arms about the gesture. Such was the anxiety within the CCP camp that President Xi Jinping hurriedly dispatched himself to the Tibet Autonomous Region on a surprise visit to soothe the jangling nerves. It was the first time after assuming role of the Chinese president that Xi Jinping visited Tibet. He orchestrated a grand welcome for himself, in which CCP stooges pretended to be the Tibetan citizens who were overwhelmed to see the supreme leader amongst them. New airports being developed, Rafale deployed to counter China on the border, and aggressive India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also getting up to build 4 new airports and 37 helipads across the Union Territory of Ladakh. The process of land identification and preliminary discussions have been concluded, and the next stage would be a joint statement by the key stakeholders like the DGCA, Airports Authority of India and the Indian Air Force. In addition to the BrahMos, India has started deploying its second squadron of 4.5th generation Rafale jets in the strategically crucial eastern base of Hasimara in West Bengal. The Indian jets may or may not have entered the Chinese territory, but the fact that Beijing appears flustered is a victory in itself.